Hello everyone. This is going to be a daily podcast, before the way, just before you get very worried. Other people do it a lot worse than me. Anyway, I thought I'd just talk about a wee magazine I picked up at the latest game, Old Trafford. And it's actually this magazine here. This is called United We Stand. Um, it's a magazine, or I should say fanzine, that I've been buying for God knows how long now. It's actually up to, unbelievably, its 253rd issue. And you can buy this, and you should buy this if you regularly or irregularly go to Old Trafford, or you can subscribe to it, which I used to do as well. But not buy it. Anyway, I just thought I'd discuss a few interesting articles in it. It's actually edited by a guy called Andy Mitten, and one of his relatives, Charlie Mitten, actually used to play for United. So there you go. It has quite a lot of interesting articles in it for this issue. There's a lot of ones that are repeater articles, which you should read anyway. But anyway, there's a very interesting one about the visit to Bruges from the fans' perspective, which is a pretty good read as well. Also interesting into a bit shorter, mind you, with Tony V. Very short. Most of the time he's on about people who no longer play for United. There's also an interesting article about United legend Johnny Carey, which many of you may not be aware who he actually was or the role he played for United. And there's also a very interesting article about somebody who went to a do at club football. That's that one here. And also somebody who's standing up for this man here, despite people saying it's not the force he was. And there's always a review of all the matches we played in, who was good, who was bad, what the away crowd was like, what the home crowd was like, blah, 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 blah. And finally, at the end, there's an interesting article with the editor of a fanzine for Ipswich Town called Turnstile Blues. And yeah, well, that's always a really good part of this particular fanzine. Using a word there, right? But anyway, I just thought I'd speak about one of the articles every. I think you get a couple of these every month. And there's a guy called Jim White. Always does. I don't always agree with everything that Jim White. There he is, Jim White, and he stays. No, it's over here. It's backwards, this thing. Yeah, right, Jim White. Yeah. Now he's writes for the Telegraph, and I don't buy the Telegraph, so. You know, it means nothing to me, to be honest with you. Surprise, surprise there. But the interesting thing about Jim is that I do remember last season he was going about always really looking forward to Di Maria, you know, going on and so forth. And not obviously, you know, there were lots of things I didn't agree with him at the time. But anyway, this point is quite interesting because a lot of people say to me, "Oh, you're dead negative about." There's always been this question, which I've referred to many, many times, about the squad that David Moyes got from Ferguson, because it was the title-winning squad, and about Moyes' tenure at Old Trafford. Now, he's just on about what's happened with it in the transfer window here, and the point he makes is quite interesting, because people say, you know, I'm like overly cautious and a bit pessimistic at times. Well, listen to this, and I totally agree wholeheartedly with everything Mr. Jim White has to say. It says, when David Moyes took over as manager in July 2013, within a couple of months he was privately expressing his concern at the quality of what he had been bequeathed. He was more than aware, as those who had watched United carefully over the previous 3 or 4 seasons, that there were gaping holes in his resources. But he was a manager who had won nothing. He did not feel he had the authority to move on those he considered underwhelming or to buy in a whole roster of replacements. He preferred to give the players the chance to demonstrate their worth, assuming wrongly, as it turned out, that he had plenty of time to make proper assessment and then smooth the transition. Van Gaal was less reticent, as the picture of Ferguson's squad doing the rounds on social media points out. You know the one we've seen where everybody's got a big cross in front of them who's no longer at United. He says, Of the 2013 champions, only Smalling, Jones, Carrick, Valencia, Young and Rooney remain at the club. Well, that's such a, because obviously De Gea's back in. It was harsh, but few can argue it was necessary. The question now is whether the replacements he has brought in are good enough to reverse the sense of drift. We all have our opinions on that, and now we are about to find out. This squad of Van Gaal's is to be put to the test. We will soon discover if they are as underwhelming, unconvincing, and above all, uninspiring as we fear. And there's one thing about the forthcoming results the club will come to appreciate, that there will be no spinning their way out of these, because finally, you can't spin it because he says, well, this is the team that you've constructed. So, yeah, bang on the nail, Mr. Jim White. Well done, Jim. Totally agree with that. And probably Jim is hoping that won't be the case, that all of a sudden we will see the development of this philosophy. As he says, their time will tell, and there won't be any spinning this one around either way. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention that because probably not a lot of you will get the opportunity to read Jim's column, and it's a massive column. Sorry for the innuendo there, Jim. But yeah, it's a really good article, and it's probably the first one I always go to whenever I buy United We Stand. So anyway, and United We Stand has consistently been voted probably one of the best sort of fanzines out there, going through every club in Britain. The quality in it is outstanding. Many times you get people actually get hold of United Fanzine, and it's the United We Stand, and they actually get hold of articles and then publish them without actually asking any credit, asking all the giving credit to United We Stand for the article, or asking permission. I know what that's like. So anyway, I'll leave that with you, and we will just obviously wait to see what transpires over the next coming weeks. And of course, we just hope against hope, I think, but he may make a miraculous recovery. He may remarkable recovery. What's miraculous? Doesn't exist. A remarkable recovery. After talking, of course, about Luke Shaw, hoping that he gets better. And yeah, I hate to be pessimistic about this, but some players, it's all in their head, and when they come back, they're not the player that they were before. And then he was just, getting voted as, man of the match, and looking like the sort of player that we've heard that he's going to be. And actually, I've seen now the leg break a few times. At first I thought it was the momentum, that when he landed, that his leg wasn't broken while he was in the air. Quite clearly, looking at the video now, it's quite clearly his leg was already broken in two places before he took off. If you look at some of the still captures from that tackle, which was a shocker. Anyway, see you. Well, I won't see you at Southampton because I'm not going. So I'll see you at the Ipswich game. Well, obviously, I won't see you. What I'm talking about. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'll be at the Ipswich game. See you later. Bye.